Hi, I'm Sweathie. I'm going to tell you a story. You're a teenager. You have a really tough time with your mental health. You're bouncing around to different therapists, you're diagnosed with different things, and you're dealing with a lot of stuff. Stuff to do with gender and sexuality, neurodivergency, disability, mental illness. There's just a lot going on. There's always a lot going on when you're a teenager, and any kind of intersectionality on top of that is a lot to process for a young adult. But one of the things that sticks with you is art. You find yourself in the art room during breaks, bonding with your teachers, and making friends with the same interests as you. You have a strong support system. Even though there are some rough patches, people are looking out for you. You realize during high school that some of the people who look out for you the most are your art teachers. They care about you. They love you. You feel at home. You don't feel at home in your body or in your mind, but you feel safe in the art room. It's where you belong. When the time comes to fill out your college applications, you've long since decided that you're going to be an art teacher. You want to bring this sense of belonging and compassion to kids you know are feeling the same way as you. Maybe in the hopes that you can one day do for them what your educators did for you. Even a fraction of that would be enough. So you apply to a handful of colleges. Eventually, you get your acceptances and you narrow your decision down to two different schools. One is a state school, Puttstown, that gave you a very good financial aid package. Two of your high school art teachers graduated from Puttstown. It's in-state and regarded very highly for art education. The second is a private art school, UArts. You actually went to a summer program there. It's closer to where you live, but it would be much more expensive. They gave you an average amount of financial aid. Nothing to sneeze at, but even with that, 1 year at UArts would cost more than all 4 at Puttstown. However, you notice something that catches your eye. UArts has a 5-year program where you can get a Bachelor's of Fine Arts and a Master of Art in Teaching. This seems perfect for what you want to do. But is it worth the price? You don't think so. Puttstown seems delightful. Maybe not perfect, but perfectly fine. You go to your parents and you tell them this. They respond that they're willing to support you more than you had counted on. You shouldn't settle for perfectly fine. They would be willing to help you go to UArts. It's more expensive, sure, but you would save on living costs and get to experience a fancy art school that's been running for almost 150 years. Surely the price tag means that it has more to offer. From your time in the summer program, you don't really remember the facilities as anything spectacular, but maybe your parents are right. You commit to UArts. You enjoy your freshman year well enough, even though it's 2020 and everything's online. There's this nagging voice in the back of your mind asking if this is the place for you, but you write it off due to the unprecedented circumstances. And you move forward. In your sophomore year, you start taking classes that'll count towards your master's. You feel much more at home in the education classes than in the ones for your major. Of course you do, you think, because you're not at UArts for your major. You're here for the graduate program. You just need to get through 4 years of undergrad to get to that wonderful, wonderful MAT. UArts is far from perfect. Sometimes you think it might not even be perfectly fine, but you're already halfway there. You're gonna get your master's at 23, so some inadequacies are worth putting up with. You get through your junior year. You put a lot of work into your senior thesis. You graduate. And you sit through the ceremony inaugurating UArts' newest president. She's full of joy and excitement for the university's future. She announces that UArts will be partnering with a local nonprofit and devoting a whole building to community art making. The founder of this nonprofit is quite literally jumping for joy on the stage. You've seen firsthand how her work has impacted your community. This is meaningful. It feels weird. You're graduating, but you're not leaving. You've already committed to your 5th year at UArts. I mean, really, you committed back when you decided to go here. And when you get up on the stage, shake the president's hand and get your diploma, it feels a bit like a practice run. You're going to do this again next year anyway. It's going to be even fancier next year. You get special robes and a hooding ceremony. Isn't that cool? You're going to decorate your hat even cooler than the way you did it this year. So you leave. You say goodbye to some people knowing that it's going to be the last time you'll see them. But not your professors. You're making plans to come back and visit. I mean, you're just in the building across the street. They'll all be here next year. Your summer's going to be great. UArts is shelling out the money to send you to New York State. You were specifically chosen as a graduate student for this opportunity. This is why you went to UArts. This level of care and opportunity and excitement. You're excited for the first time in a while to be a student at UArts. You're going to do so many cool things in your 5th year. Only a few weeks have passed, but your senior year seems far behind you. It's a Friday night and you're enjoying your summer, almost entirely stress-free. You're scrolling on your phone and someone sends a link to an article. At first you think that it can't possibly be real. It's a news article saying that UArts is closing. Like, closing for good. Like, never opening its doors again closing. This only came out a couple of minutes ago. It's a reputable source, but you hadn't heard anything about this. You got information for your bill for next semester yesterday. You sat through a 3.5-hour-long graduation filled with speeches about opportunity, potential, and community. There's no way this is real. But it is. You're a student at University of the Arts in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and you no longer have a school. They didn't even have the decency to warn you. You found out from the Philadelphia Inquirer. You didn't get an email from your school until nearly an hour after the article was published. And what an hour that was. Filled with panic and denial and rage and calls with your friends, emails to professors, texts to alumni, just trying to figure out who knows what. You're almost certain it was planned this way. They planned not to tell you, just to let their accreditation run out and make someone else do the dirty work and announce it for them. They just spent $1 million on a Saxby's, and now they're saying they're running out of money? But you don't just lose all that money overnight. Why did UArts get a new president last year? Why did they start selling off the dorm buildings? Who knew about this and kept it under wraps? That last question starts to nag at you. Who knew? The answer, you're horrified to find out, is nobody. It would sting if your professors knew, but just for a little bit. There's an abject horror that sets in when you learn that none of your professors, none of your admin, not the program director or the dean of your school knew about it. They all found out when you did that they no longer have a job, that they no longer have health insurance, that they have put years of their life into this place and now it's all gone. The union contract they came to this year means nothing. Did Carrie Walk know when she signed it that this was going to happen? Your thesis professor sure didn't know about it when he was excitedly telling you about the search for a new professor next semester. The program director of the Art and Design Education program didn't know about this when she got an article published this month speaking about all the work she's excited to do at UArts in the upcoming years. Your professor for your practicum class next semester didn't know when she was helping you set up your placement at a local high school. The rising freshmen and transfers who just committed to UArts and rejected other offers didn't know. Your favorite faculty member who supported you in a million ways throughout your time at UArts didn't know about this when she hugged you and told you that she was excited for you. She didn't know when she said that you'd need to come back and visit her next year, that it wouldn't be at UArts. What do you do? What do you do when your university disappears? What do you do when in a second you realize that your life is going to change forever? The closest school to you that has an MAT program is hours away. None of the schools they're offering bridge programs with have an MAT program. Seamless transfer pathways, my foot. You might be able to finish this in 5 years if all of your credits transfer, but what's the likelihood of that happening? You can change to a different degree and stay local, but there's no way you're in it for less than 2 years if that's the case. Or, the easiest option, the most tantalizing, it's giving up. You already have your bachelor's degree. They can't take that from you. Knock on wood. What if you just don't go into education? You find a job within your major and you settle. You settle. That's what your parents didn't want you to do when they sent you to UArts. Don't settle for perfectly fine. You deserve perfect. Maybe things would have been different if you went somewhere else. Who knows, they could have been worse. I mean, they also could have been a hell of a lot better. You're left feeling like you're the victim of a cruel scam. You put 4 years of your life into this place for that golden egg of a 5th year, and right before you were about to reach it, it was smashed right in front of you. What do? You don't know. But whatever you're going to do, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be perfectly fine, let alone perfect. It's going to feel wrong. And it's going to hurt.